Welcome back, guys. It is getting crazy in LA. Y'all remember Representative Maxine Waters? Yes, she has been out there and she trying to enter into the LA detention center and she was denied. She was denied entry, yo, and she got this to say on CNN.
Was denied entry to a detention center in Los Angeles. Ma'am, we're lobbying secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs office.
I need to get in.
The Congresswoman was trying to speak with David Huerta, the leader of the Service Employees International Union of California, yesterday. He was arrested by federal agents after prosecutors say he tried to obstruct their access to a worksite. He has called actions taken against protesters, and I'm quoting him now, an injustice. Joining us now on the phone is Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Congresswoman, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, take us through your attempt to get into that detention center. What were you told?
First of all, I went down into the area because David Huerta is a big leader in organized labor with SEIU. And everybody was wondering what happened to him. He was arrested. We did not know where he was. And so I went down to see if I could get some information. I had on one of my jackets with the emblem on it for the Congress, and I identified myself when I saw two people going in that looked like they were in authority, and I tried to ask them, I did ask them, if I could come in. I said, I'm Congresswoman Waters, and I'm coming to see if I can see about David Huerta. They said, we're not letting anybody in, and slammed the door. And so I didn't have an opportunity to talk with anybody, to see if I could find out if he was all right. Now, when I was there, on the street right in front of the detention center, the protests were very small and very peaceful. There was no animosity. The only problem that we had was the National Guard, who was standing there with these assault weapons, in front of the small crowd that was there. And so that looked very, very dangerous. And I don't know why I was there with weapons, because ICE was in Los Angeles, in the black and brown communities, trying to grab people off the street, trying to identify who may be illegal, et cetera, et cetera. And so President Trump has literally instigated all of this. He knows that he cannot meet the numbers that he promised during the campaign, that he was going to send back to their country, send back to Mexico, etc. And so he's now playing to his MAGA crowd to say, see, I'm working hard. I'm going to get them out of here for you. On and on and on. He's not going to make the numbers, but he's going to upset our city. He's going to cause a great deal of problems. He is going to anger a lot of people, and then he's going to want martial law. We know what he wants. He wants to call martial law. He wants to get the military in here. This is a dishonorable human being, a cruel man that does not care about the disruption that he's causing and the lives that may be lost because of him. His son was quoted this morning saying to the Koreans, get on top of the rooftop and shoot the protesters.
Are you going to try to get into that detention center again, Congresswoman?
Well, no, I have to go to Washington. I am the ranking member of the Financial Services Committee dealing with trying to stop Trump from, stealing with this cryptocurrency. And so I'm leaving. I'm in the airport right now. And, people are calling me and telling me and describing, what was happening last night and concerned about my safety. No, I won't be back here until after Charlie Rangel's funeral in New York. After I go to Washington all week, I go to New York, yes. And so, but they were in my district. They were in Compton, and that's black and brown, and they really caused a lot of disturbance. They had no reason to go in the way that wants this to happen. And I am predicting that he will get the military in here, and he will create martial law to exercise his power and make it look as if he's doing everything that he promised to get rid of the migrants in our city.
I just want you to be safe and be careful out there when you get back out there after you come back to Washington and then go to New York. As you know, Congresswoman, the LAPD police chief, Jim McDonnell, says the level of violence he's been seeing across Los Angeles, in his word, and I'm quoting him now, is disgusting. Given that, why shouldn't the National Guard be involved?
Well, I was surprised at the way that the police chief was describing all of this. There have been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened. And so he doesn't know what to do, probably, because this is a sanctuary city and the police don't have the authority. All that he's got to do is work with the governor. The governor was not even called when he sent in the National Guard. The mayor was not even called. The president is initiating this purposely. He knows what he's doing. If he was, thinking, well, first of all, he started all this with the targeting, all of the migrants in the way that he's doing. And so, if we had people who were working together and cooperating, the governor would have been contacted, the mayor would have been contacted, and they would have said to the police, whatever the sanctuary city is, if we need to undo that at this time so that the police will have the authority, we can do that. But no, the president doesn't want that. He wants to use his power. And I am predicting he will go so far as to create martial law.
I just want to point out, and I'm sure you know this, Congresswoman, there has been some violence in the course of these protests. Some police officers were assaulted and some vehicles were damaged in the process. So there has been some violence out there, right?
Well, the thing about it is you may have people, one or two or a few people who will not conform. That happens everywhere. That happens in our workplace. There's always someone who does something. But we are saying to people, don't be goaded. Don't be goaded into a confrontation. Don't be goaded because that's what Trump wants. He wants the violence so that he can send in the military and create martial law. That's what he wants. And if a few people were doing that, I've not heard of anybody being shot. I've not heard of anybody being killed. I've not heard of anybody being beaten. So I don't know what all this so-called violence is all about.
All right, Congresswoman Maxine Waters of California, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, guys, it is getting crazy and it is getting out of control. We just pray this thing is not going to escalate more than this. Now we can see the lawmakers, they are out there trying to make it peaceful, but we are not seeing that working presently right now. What's your thoughts? Let's drop it down there in the comment section as usual. Please let's respect ourselves while we comment. Peaceful protests should not be escalated. We don't know what's going on, but when we get more updates for sure, we will bring you guys up to date with it. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Bye for now, and thank you.